So, hello everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting us here. Always kind of been amazed by the TED Talks, always inspired by them, and therefore very humbled to have an opportunity to be standing here. I'm sure Gav is as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I kind of have a thing where my eyes well up and I get tears coming out when I get overly excited by stuff. And I will say that today I've been kind of crying quite a lot. It's got nothing to do with the rest of the talk. It's just something that if I start crying during this, well, no, I'll try not to. No one likes to see a grown man, bearded, crying. So I'll try and stay on the points. Another thing to say thank you about is that we've managed to be allowed and get away with calling our talk something ridiculous. It's a tradition that me and Gav have had from the beginning, where every time we get to do a talk, we take something from our childhood and are a bit stupid and a bit silly. But for once, it's actually got some relevance. This playfulness, this stupidity, this silliness is the key kind of conversation that we want to have today, the key thing we want to discuss, because we believe it's very important and it can change the world around us. So play, hopefully I can remember the Oxford definition of play is an activity of recreation, or the other one that I have forgotten, recreation or enjoyment, but without a practical purpose. We all play. Many species play. In fact, like across all our species, particularly mammals, birds, kind of all the clever ones, really. We all play. Humans play, but most of them play as young. They play as a young, and they, from an evolutionary kind of angle, this play is a form of training. It's a way of practicing for being an adult. It's a way of honing the instincts that we already have inside ourselves and kind of playing out like mental and physical and social games in which you can then kind of be ready for when things come up. This very cute cat, as you might say, kitten. The classic example, this is kind of used across evolutionary literature about play, is the cat with its twine. You know, the kitten with its twine, and the fact that really it's just making sure that when it sees that magpie, it's going to get it and take it down, and it's ready for it, and it'll drag it back to your house and leave it behind the couch.
How
and all
does
the
a
other
magpie? How does a kitten catch a magpie?
No, when it's a cat.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
So I wasn't planned. I just
just wanted to
quiz
ask a
you.
question. Similarly, you know, when we're children, when humans are children, they go through similar processes. I remember vividly myself and my cousin, when we were young, we used to play make-believe bar. It was usually at Christmas. All the family got them kind of drinks made for them. She used to take the money, do the till. I used to dress up as a waiter and have to walk around and pretty much do all the rest of the work, really. But she now runs the family pub business, so you can see where that was going. It's all kind of practice. What's unusual about humans is the fact that humans take play from their youth into adulthood. We're quite unique in this. Other species that kind of you see that other species are doing it, but we're pretty much unique in actually being allowed to take play out of our childhood and into our adulthood. And we think that this fundamental kind of aspect of humanity, it's amazing, it's massive, and it's a cornerstone of our curiosity. It's all about our intrigue, about our gameness. Is that a word? Gameness, that I do. Our kind of playfulness. This is a very, very important and magical thing, and something that should be considered. It's also very good fun.
Here we go. My point is, whether you're 9 or you're 29, sliding, the simple joy of sliding on a slide, going down a small plastic object, it's just a pure, simple joy. Admittedly, it's a little bit harder to get up it, and you kind of do get funny looks when you do try to go on a child's slide. But the point is, it's still that kind of, that simple joy is still there. Now, I know you're thinking, well, I know exactly what you're thinking. Why does this chump get to go on the slide? Why don't I get to go on the slide? But it's okay. We've got a little gift for you, for each and every one. Hopefully there's enough to go around. A little bit of Aardman modelling clay. And it's actual, real, proper modelling clay. That is not just, we didn't just go to the factory and take it. We spent the last 2 hours last night getting lumps of old modelling clay from actual real models that have been used in films and commercials and compressing them with a nice little stamp for you.
He just wants you to know that we did take 2 hours last night. That's mainly the point.
I've still got plasticine in my
We should warn you as well, though, particularly if you have expensive touch devices, that your hands can get very sticky. We take no responsibility for your ruined iPhones, but there are some wet wipes around as well.
Yeah, there's some wet
just
wipes
in
going
case.
around. Yeah,
so please play.
So the point is really that we just play. We all like to play, whether that is you're way too old, you're in a car park trying to relearn how to do kickflips all over again from when you were 14, and you have grazes on you and you just can't do it anymore, and that's fine. Or you are you spend the next 4 days sitting in your pants covered in orange what's-it dust, not moving anywhere until you reach Prestige on Modern Warfare 2. We all play. We seem to, as we grow up, like being on the slide, that, that's fun. That's still fun. It might not give you the visceral thrill that Sir Richard Noble experiences. I don't think I went 700 miles an hour on that, but it felt pretty close. But as you get older, you just I don't know, you have this fun. And the fact that was still as fun as it was when I was a kid, but you get old and you go, okay, well, I've got to grow up and I have to be this and I can't do that anymore. You just conditioned out of it in a way because play and fun is not as well accepted. And what we're talking about and what we really try and do is to try and bring that fun and playfulness back, really. And what we see the whole thing is play is stepping out of the world. It's you've got your cycle and you've got your system that you go around in, and you've got life and work and job and all this stuff that everyone does, and as exciting as it is, it's still, you have to be mature, you have to be grown, you have to do these things, but play, whatever it is, whether you are sitting in your pants playing Modern Warfare 2, and that is fine, you're stepping out of the world and you're just having this lovely, enjoyable, fun recreational time where time doesn't matter and you're not really affecting anything. And that's, that's great. That's what play is. But what we really want to talk about, and something we really strongly believe in, is being playful. And I think being playful is being able to take those elements of fun that you're having when you're stepped outside the world, and bring it back in. You can bring it back in into this system, into this world around you. And then I think by doing that, you just get to make things a little bit more positive. If you are looking at things a lot more playfully, you're just having fun and you're being positive and applying all these elements to your own life and hopefully making that routine a lot more fun. We try and do it a lot at Aardman, don't we? We spend all day colouring in and being silly. We are incredibly fortunate that we're professional colour-inners, and it's not really that hard. It's not a proper job at all. Let's be honest, it's not, is it? It's just doing this and going, oh, look what I made. But we try and show that and incorporate that into our workplace as much as possible, whether that's we've got a nice message emblazoned on a meeting room door to make fun. It's the same make fun that's on your the stickers on your little pieces of modelling clay, from just that motivational message to having a game of teabag parachutes, which is quite simple as you'd think, really. You get a nice bit of circle, you design your circle nicely because that's your parachute, and that's, the more awesome it is, the better it will be. Put a few bits of string in it, attach it to a tea bag, and then you drop it from 3 stories up and try to get in a teapot. Everyone does this. I know this is 5:15 on a Friday afternoon stuff. Of course it is. You all know what I'm talking about. Whether it's things like that, and whether it's the other example that I've forgotten.
It's right there.
Hey, that's it. Playing Kirby. We're all quite competitive. There's someone in particular, Katie McQuinn-Roberts, who's very competitive, and I know she's watching this live, and she'll be going, yes, I am competitive. But we're all so competitive that trying to decide Employee of the Month wasn't really going to be viable, was it? So we thought the best way is just to play Kirby outside outside the building, because it is just good fun. Why
Kirby
not?
basically involves throwing a ball to the other curb and trying to bounce it back again. It's no more complex than that. But our Employee of the Month stickers, and we've got a little portrait that sits behind Lorna the Boss. You get that for winning Kirby right now. Next month will be something else, hopefully.
So that's how we do it, but there's lots of other people in the world that do it in lots of different ways, isn't there? They're taking this playfulness on lots of different scales, really, and lots of different applications of it, and just adding more playfulness into their world to affect other people's experiences.
Yeah, making a proper effect in the world.
Yeah, definitely. A great example is a place in Stockholm that the piano stairs. Yeah, in Stockholm, this is a subway station, an initiative called the Fun Theory, initiative by Volkswagen actually. They just replaced these stairs with a full working piano set. You can see it on YouTube. It's had 16 million views, which is a really lovely thing in itself. And what they found was that 66% more people used the stairs than usual because they just kind of just hopped along, they'd step and go, dong, dong. And everyone was thinking, this is just like big, this is awesome. And it was just a really beautiful, enjoyable, kind of playful thing. And you can watch the video, just search on YouTube, The Fun Theory, Piano Stairs. It's a really wonderful example of kind of applying play to your environment.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just shut you
Do
up.
what you want, you're the man with the clicker, you're the boss.
Or this game called Fold It, which was developed by the University of Washington. I would try and sound intelligent about it. There are a number of issues around trying to look inside a molecule to understand the three-dimensional structure of the proteins underneath. We understand proteins, we understand molecules, but actually quite how that structure is created is quite difficult. We can't work it out with any algorithms right now. And so you can throw computer power at it, but it's not very efficient. It's pretty damn useless. It's not number crunching, it's problem solving. And so they've created this game just as a kind of a bit of a test. The same guys that did Rosetto at Home. It was another kind of distributed crowdsourced thing. But it plays on the human's desire and joy that they take from puzzle solving, and also plays on the fact that we're very, very good at it, a general kind of pattern finding and problem solving. And they put out this competition, I guess, a set of puzzles which involve constructing the potential structure of the end goal. So they show you the end goal. How could you make this like that? And already the effects, not already, it's been running for a little while now, but the effects of it have been amazing. The research that they've got have beaten all of the computer algorithms pretty much. I think it was something like 70% to 30%, and they're starting to take all that information and build it back into all of their algorithms. So we're getting cleverer because of this playful thing going on.
Another great example is kind of matching the inventiveness and the excitingness of adults with the kind of playfulness of children. And there's a initiative called the Play Pumps in South Africa, which has basically developed a system which pumps fresh, clean, safe water from miles down in the ground using roundabouts. There's over 1,700 of these now in sub-Saharan Africa, basically giving fresh, clean water. And I mean, look how much fun they're having. As much fun as I was having on that slide. But that's just a beautiful thing that they're going to play on that like a normal pop. But they are really helping kind of give back to the world and kind of affecting their world around them for a really, really positive change. It's beautiful.
So, and I suppose what we're trying to conclude, what we're trying to show with these examples is that playfulness and play can have a massive effect. You know, it can change, kind of add new knowledge into the world. It can make people healthier. It can make whole societies adapt and change and be generally better, keeping people alive. And if you look at that original definition, that play is a task or an activity which is recreational and does not have a serious purpose, then I suppose playfulness, or what we're trying to get across, is something where you have an activity for recreation, but it's alongside serious purpose. This thing is all plausible and is all possible. So we've got a number of projects there. There are projects out there in the world, all with varying degrees of playfulness and all with varying degrees of effect to the world. But how do we kind of understand them? How do we get the knowledge of those and be able to talk about them? Well, luckily, bear with me here, luckily we've created the Efergan Strange scale of play, which is a very, very rigorously and scientifically tested truthism of, I don't know where that word came from, of how to track these things. I'll give you, so we've got a scale here from very serious to very playful, and not really affecting the world much to affecting the world a hell of a lot. I'll give you an example of how it could work. Top left-hand corner, no, where am I here? Top right-hand corner, no, top left-hand corner, I was right the first time. We've got Gav, can you demonstrate please, Gav?
Oh, okay.
Flying around, pretending to be a plane, with sounds please, Gav.
Oh.
Very, very playful, not really affecting the world apart from maybe amusing a few people here, but kind of epitome of play. At the bottom right-hand corner, it's getting a bit serious now, but if you think of the pilot flying the plane carrying the first atomic bomb, you know, there ain't no playfulness in this. This is something which is going to massively affect the world, something more than they probably even comprehended. So that's kind of some of the extremes of the scales here. If you look in the middle, round about, can I press it? Yeah, I like lasers. Round about here, you get something interesting happening. You've got Bob. I don't know why I called him Bob. I realised this morning I'd named him in the process of this. He's playing Microsoft Flight Simulator at home. He's got all the bells and whistles. He's got the screens. He's got the joystick, the rumbly seat. Probably gets his wife to dress up in let me finish that sentence.
Please do.
Dress up as a flight attendant, bring him sandwiches, doing the 8-hour mission to Hong Kong. And then just above him, somewhere kind of round about here, you've got I need another name, Jim, the pilot, who is in a flight simulator learning how to fly jets. He's sitting there to kind of teach himself how to fly jets. Now the actual physical difference between those two people, you've got two people sitting in a seat with a simulator around them, pretending to fly, both with computers kind of powering their system. There's actually no real difference to their actions. The only difference is the perception that they have of themselves and our perception of kind of what they're going to do with their training. Another example.
Well, it's the action thing. That's what we kind of found fascinating when we were talking about this talk and kind of thinking about things. The action can be the same, nearly identical, but the effect on the world is different depending on other influences, as well as being playful, the kind of outside influences that affect what you're doing. So, for example, you're 3 years old. You've got your favourite crayon. It's a red crayon. It's a good crayon. Crayola make great crayons. I'm not disputing that. You're drawing on your wall. You don't know that that's your mum's wall. And your mum comes in and says, no, don't do that. That's your house. Oh, okay. But then you might also be 29 years old. And you might be a graffiti writer. And you're writing on a wall with a can. And the police officer says, no, you can't do that. All right, okay. But then you might also have Banksy, the prodigal son of Bristol. He might be doing the same thing. He might have some stencils, and he's just doing it on a wall. But that wall is the gap between Israel and Palestine. And suddenly you're performing the same action, but the effect on the world is massively different. And an example of these things kind of coming together harmoniously, and it's a lot to do with perception about how people perceive each other for positive change can be a good thing. Just last month in Bristol, with the things that are happening in Stokes Croft, obviously all the time with a real engaged, vibrant community of artists. This community of artists, of Bristol artists and international artists, who are used to being playful and creative but being told no, had this weird, mesh, harmonious, beautiful relationship with the city council, who were just used to saying no for fun. I think that's what they like to do. They just like to say no. But from the city council changing their perception of street artists, and from street artists changing their perception of what the council would allow, it resulted in Nelson Street, the See No Evil project, which has turned an otherwise dull, boring, lifeless, drab street, which was grey and dystopian and really horrible. No one likes going down the street, into this beautiful, vibrant, full thoroughfare to take you into the city, and that's changing people's, people's direction that they want to move through the city. You're going to get actual visitors coming there specifically to see the work, and all of a sudden, by engaging two different groups and kind of allowing this playfulness to happen in a positive way, a beautiful change to the environment can happen.
I think we're down to 30 seconds.
30, Jesus. Okay,
So we just quickly remapped onto our original scale what we were talking about there. Drawing on crayons, kind of drawing on the wall, and then Banksy, and then kind of things like Nelson Street, up in our holy grail, this top corner of playfulness and affecting the world. And you can already see what's going to happen. Loads of people smiling, and the world generally being a better place.
Ultimately, there's so many different ways you can have a positive effect on the world around you. But we think it's all about perception, how you perceive the world and how the world perceives you.
And we hope you can leave here today, go out and look at the world a little more playfully, because we believe if you do that, the world will smile back at you. Thank you very much.